All right, it is the 7th, 2024. About a week to competition. This is the last week. 3 days training. Yesterday was squats, as you were seeing right now. Tomorrow's bench. And then Saturday's deadlift. And basically, I'm going up to my heavy. This is the week where I see if everything worked or not. So today's program, really simple. It called for 570 pounds for a set of 1 to 4. 1 to 4. I don't like those subjective numbers. It's saying, yeah, you could do 1. You pussy. Or, in my mind, it's like, you need to do all 4 or you're an abject failure and you should kill yourself. Somewhere in the middle is probably the truth, I'm thinking. So I got 3. All right, fair enough. And the third one, I don't think the depth was that great. I got a weird mindset. People like to argue. They disagree with me on this all the time. I feel like I have to bury the first one. Have to. You're in competition. You need to get depth. Just like bench, you got to pause that first one. But then after that, do you really need to be perfect on the rest of the reps? Is it better to be perfect, or is it better to get more reps? And I've been trying to lean more towards perfect, but once perfect is out the window, which like that second rep, I thought I buried it, but it was a little bit high. It might have counted on the platform. I think it was deep enough to get white lights, but the third one definitely wasn't. I would have gone for that fourth, but on the way up on that third rep, my head felt like it was going to explode. So I thought, yeah, I probably should not do that. But historically, what I've done is I'll just start cranking the reps out. Once depth is no longer obtainable, I will still just keep going just to get the extra reps. And I feel like that's a decent strategy for adding a little bit extra strength in your program. And it's just an easy thing that everybody can do because it's easy to just keep going. I don't know, it'd be like whatever you're working out. If you're taking a set to failure and you start getting towards the end, it'd be like doing partial reps just to crank out every last bit of juice, just wring out every last bit of strength. And you get your guys on YouTube that are really critical of that, and they're saying, oh, those don't count. Well, count for what? Count for training? Do they help you get stronger? I mean, yeah, obviously I'm training. I'm in the gym. I'm not competing. Duh. I don't know. It's a weird conversation that never made much sense to me. And I think that comes from more from the comments section than you would ever see. Because I remember before YouTube, before social media, when we used to just train in the gym and you didn't have all those little voices chirping at you, we just trained. We just lifted. And we all got really big and strong. Imagine that. So sometimes I think the guys that put videos online, they let YouTube kind of ruin their programs. They sort of let YouTube dictate, the type of training they do. And it's like, no, tune that crap out. Those guys don't care about you anyways. I've never had one person in my life who's left me a negative comment show up at any of my competitions or ask how I did after a meet. I mean, so why are you listening to them about training? You know what I mean? It's just silly to me. I don't know. Just lift. Put some weight on the bar. Move it up and down. Do it again. Keep going till you're stronger. Don't overthink it. The flip side to that, you start getting towards the top end of your strength, and you really need to start, honing in and zeroing in on every little thing that's going to help you get stronger. I've said it in almost every video I've ever made. 2 things can be true at the same time. And sometimes you got to have both. You got to have the perfect reps because you got to be able to compete. But sometimes just grinding sets out to get stronger is perfectly fine too. Hypertrophy. Spoto. What's a Spoto press? Go online and look up what a Spoto press is. That guy was at one time the number 1 bench presser in the world. He had the raw world record. And he rarely did perfect form benching ever in training. So I would wonder, I would like to see these guys that leave comments go just tell him that. Go tell Eric Spoto he's not benching properly. You know what I mean? To see how that flies. Oh, man. Now, for this part of my training, I am really focused on burying all of these reps. So far, I've hit every single one of these to depth, and that's my goal, because that's something with competition coming up. It's been my struggle as of late, the last few meets, getting depth while I'm doing squats. And I think now that I've kind of got it figured out, I figured out what I was doing wrong. And honestly, I wish I would have had somebody at Worlds there with me so that I could have seen it. And it wasn't until somebody pointed it out in a video and I noticed that it finally went off. I wasn't opening up my hips. And I thought back, man, oh, this last year, it's not that I wasn't doing it on purpose. What I was doing, I would load the weight up, and as soon as it got to a certain weight, you know, when you're struggling to pick it up off the rack and walk it out, and that's right around 500, 520, somewhere in there. It's not that it's hard to walk it out, but you have to respect it. You have to think about it. You don't have to think about 225. You just pick that up and walk out with it. I mean, I can hold it with one hand. You know, if it starts sliding off my back, I could just scooch it back up again. It's like nothing. 525, 530, that's different. I wasn't thinking about bracing my core really tight as hard as I could, and I wasn't thinking about opening up my hips. I would just go down as far as I could and up as far as I could, and it was really baffling me. I just couldn't figure it out. Well, now that I got it figured out, I think we're going to be good moving forward. And that last set, I did those 3 reps. Yeah, you know, the last one wasn't perfect, but whatever. That's a PR. I don't think I've ever repped 570 for more than 2. Certainly not 3. Now, I ended the day with just usual bag training for a couple of reasons. The stretching, everything that's involved in it has been really, really therapeutic. For my age, you know, one of the problems, strength isn't an issue. I'm as strong now as I've ever been in my entire life. But, you know, the next day when you're super sore, like right now, I feel perfectly fine. And I really think the boxing training, hitting the bags, doing all those stretches, has been really paying dividends, and it's helping me keep my weight down. It's great cardio. I mean, it is awesome cardio, if nothing else. Even if you suck, if you are the worst kickboxer in the world, it's still great cardio. So to that end, it's absolutely worth doing. And I don't know, I can't recommend it enough. I just love it, man. I love every bit of it. I'm getting a little burned out with the heavy lifting, so I'll be glad when this meet's over. I'm excited, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm into 100% at this point, at this part of the race. This is where you push that extra sprint to the finish line. You know, imagine running a marathon, and you're on mile 23, and your body's about to shut down, and then you get to 24, and you're thinking, I can't make it. And then you get to 25, and that's when that last stretch kicks in, and all of a sudden you start pushing really, really hard, and then it's a sprint. It's a sprint to that line. And there's 2 guys that are running up behind you, and you all of a sudden you're running as fast as you can, and you're not thinking about any of that pain that you were at mile 22. None of it. All you're thinking about is pick that shit up and cross that finish line. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm ready to go. Your boy's ready. So just to be clear, this channel, as much as I am into a power lifter, absolutely 100%, ride or die, I'm more about the human body and getting things to work. You know, as we get to our age, assuming that you didn't spend your entire life in an office, and even if you did, that comes with its own complications. It's all about, one thing guys will often tell me that are close to my age or maybe a little bit older is like, you know, it's great that you're doing this. It's great that you're in shape. It's great that you can do all this stuff. But what about, you know, me? I can't, you know, I haven't worked out in years. I'm overweight. My back's messed up. My ankle's broken. Whatever. Fill in the blank. Find a problem. But I train with guys. My buddy Joe comes to mind. He's 6'4", and he was 300 plus pounds. Awesome dude. And he could not do a quarter squat when I met him. And we took things step by step. We found out what his limitations were, what he could do, and then we worked from there. So it's all about getting a start. It's about finding out, A, what can you do, where your limitations are, what you need to do to progress those limitations. And a lot of it, I got to be honest with you, there's a lot of people, they have pride gets in the way. It really sucks when you used to be big and strong and whatever, and you're not anymore. And nobody wants to embarrass themselves, and nobody wants to show that, they can't do something. But I'm telling you, if you commit to the process and you let us work you a little and find out what we can do with you, we can get you going. Like, say you can only do a quarter squat. Well, that's what we would start from. We put you on a box and we'd continue lowering you, and we'd work the ankles, and we'd start doing stretches and physical therapy and finding out where your injuries are, and things of that nature. And we get, slowly but surely, Joe not only could do ass to grass squatting, but he wound up being able to squat his body weight. And that's a really, really impressive thing for a guy that couldn't even squat at all. And he was getting below parallel and everything. And that's just one story. I mean, I work with a ton of guys, and it's the same thing. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't, you can. You just got to get started. So for my Gen Xers out there who feel like, they want to get after it again, hit me up and we'll talk about it. We'll get you going. I'm not a trainer. I'm not looking for money. I don't care about any of that stuff. All I want to see is people get out of their chairs and get under the barbell. That's what I'm all about. So hit me up. We'll talk about it. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, we can pretty much all agree that I'm an embarrassment of a boxer, right? I mean, your boy hits hard, but he's pretty slow. He's pretty sluggish. Doesn't move very well. He's got physical limitations. And the reason why I highlight these videos, I'm not trying to show anybody that I'm good at it. I'm obviously not. What I am trying to show is the process of how I went from barely being able to throw a punch to, I'm going to eventually show you here pretty soon, me in a ring with another man. And you probably get a good laugh out of it. It'll probably be me getting my ass kicked for a round or two. It's going to be fun. And I love it. I love every bit of it. But there's no way. There's no way I could have done that 2 years ago. Just not possible. Matter of fact, the only thing I could do was lift weights. I could do the 3 compound lifts because, believe it or not, they don't require a whole lot out of your body. I mean, you basically have to move in a couple planes of direction. And there's a lot of guys that can't even tie their shoes that still power lift. Powerlifting's cool, but it's the beginning of strength, not the end of it. To me, strength is your whole body, being able to do things you used to do back when you were in your 20s, being able to run in the park with your kids, being able to play sports with your homeboys, being able to hang out with the family and participate, instead of just sitting there watching everybody else have fun. We, as an American culture, have let ourselves go, and it's pathetic. We are way too young to be as old as we are. And I'm here to do my part to put a stop to it. So this is it. I got 2 more days of training, and then I have a week off, and then it's go time. I'm in a really good place. Tomorrow, for bench, it's going to be really telling. It's calling for a set of 370, and I haven't repped 370 in a long time. I hit, 360 the other day for 2. The program called for 2, I think, so we'll see how it goes. I'm well rested, everything's in good shape, and this will be really telling. This is going to say whether or not 400 plus on the platform is going to be realistic, so I'm really looking forward to it. And I might do I might hit the bag a little bit today, or do something with the kids, maybe throw the rollerblades on, get out there, do something. I wish I was one of those guys that could just do nothing. Maybe I'll paint some Warhammer figurines. But you know what I mean? Like, do you guys often find that you have issues just sitting around by yourselves doing nothing? Like, absolutely nothing. I don't know. I have a hard time with it. I don't know what it is. Am I high strung? I get antsy, I feel like I just want to do stuff. I don't know. I just don't want to sit around and do nothing. And I need to. I gotta have those days where I just, I think last week I had a day where I crashed and I was just in bed all day, and it was glorious. I need more days like that. Anyway, tomorrow's bench day. We're going to keep getting after it. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. I hope you guys stick with me through this competition. Don't leave me now, baby. We've come this far. I'll see you guys on the battlefield.